I've just finished recording the Cleanse and Heal for December, and once I'd finished recording it, I noticed that I'd had a message which I hadn't seen that had a request for some areas for cleansing. So I thought I'd jump on. So the December Cleanse and Heal, I think, is something you're going to want to bookmark and come back to time and time again. It's very soothing. It's very Reiki based, very quantum touch based. It's just a lot of lovely energy healing which comes in and nourishes us. There's a little bit of clearing, but not a lot, and it's not invasive, and it's not noisy. So this, by contrast, will be all focused on cleansing. So what I'd like you to do now before we start, I'm going to explain the areas I'm going to be looking at, particularly as these are coming up for members. I'm noticing it in my clients, and I'm also noticing it in myself. So that says to me that there's some general planetary work that needs to be happening here. So let's take care of ourselves as we do this. Now, I'm just going to move that back so that it's not too loud for you. So two areas that are particularly coming up are not approving of the physical appearance, and also addictive behaviour with sugar and carbs. And of course, with Christmas literally round the corner, it's quite a time for people to be eating the wrong foods, whether it's in celebration, whether it's in stress, whether it's because they're easily available, whether it's because they feel like real treats. And at this time of year, with all the extra responsibilities and pressures, we can feel like we need to treat ourselves more. And of course, our bodies don't necessarily see these foods as treats, but our emotions and our mental spaces do. Okay. And the other two aspects were not believing in the self and the divine fully, and also a little bit of imposter syndrome. Now, I know I've looked at imposter syndrome, I think this might be about 3 months ago. So it might be worth looking at that one. But let's start first of all with foods. Now, traditionally, I would, if I was working with clients, I'd want to tap through this, because tapping calms the nervous system and it allows us to connect with what's really going on behind the scenes, understanding that the behaviours that are coming forward have thoughts and feelings sitting behind them which we might not be willing to see, or we might not be able to access that. And so what I'm going to ask you to do is basically to tap on this, so on the little finger, the fleshy part of the palm, I just want you to tap with one hand, and it doesn't matter which hand, but you're just going to tap on here, okay? So I'm just going to gently tune in, and what I'd like you to do is repeat after me. Now, if any of the phrases feel like they're not true for you and there's something else coming up, tweak it, okay? There is much more information on this on my website, but I really don't want to get carried away with that right now. So we're just going to tap, and this is going to be connected with addictive behaviours with sugar and carbs, and also with the physical appearance, not approving of the physical appearance, okay? So we're going to tap here, and you're going to repeat after me. Even though I'm eating the foods that I really would prefer not to be eating, and I can't seem to leave them alone. And then I'm judging what I look like. I acknowledge this and the feelings that it causes within me. And I completely love and accept myself anyway. And even though I'm becoming addicted to sugar and carbs again, and I'm using them to soothe my stress levels, and maybe to pick myself up after feeling unwell, They're my treat foods right now. But it means that I'm in conflict with my body again. I acknowledge this pain that's inside of me. And I completely love and accept myself anyway. And even though I'm using sugar and carbs to treat myself in some way, and then judging my physical body, I acknowledge this conflict inside of me, and I still choose to completely love and accept myself anyway. Okay, we're going to come to the top of the head. So this is the crown, and we're just going to tap here. You can do 2 hands or just 1. And what I'd like you to do is to tune in to where you're noticing these difficult feelings, the conflict of wanting something but knowing you shouldn't have it. And where are you noticing that in the body? And just say that there. Say that now. I am noticing the conflict about my behaviours, and I'm noticing it in my heart and my head. For instance, they might not be in the same place for you. So come down, take my glasses off for this. You're going to come to the inside of the eyebrows, and just want you to tap with both hands, and we're going to tap for at least 15 taps to really bring the nervous system down. Don't be surprised if you're yawning. That's a perfect response. And don't be surprised if it brings up tears or emotion. All this conflict in my body. Then bring the fingers along the edge of the eyebrows to the outside points, yeah? You're not coming here, you're here, on the bone. This conflict in my body, I'm eating the wrong things and I'm starting to hate the way I look. And maybe there's a word again at the end of that, which often with body stuff it can be. Now you're going to come under the eyes, you're going to be on the bones in the centre, you're just going to tap here. This conflict in my body about food. Come under the nose. This conflict makes me feel like, fill in the blanks. So for instance, I feel like I could say, I want to cry. Whatever is right for you is exactly what you should say. Right, now come down to the chin like the little dip, and you're just going to tap there. This food has power over me. I did not want to give it. You're going to come to the clavicle now, so where your bones end, the knobbly bits, you then hit the knobbly bits and then come sort of down diagonally to there, and you'll feel some dips, okay, and you're tapping on there. If that's sore, massage it, okay, but this is a really important point. When we're stressed, this point gets quite tight and tender. All this conflict about food and my body, I can't seem to do anything right for myself. Under the arm, in line with bra strap, but under the armpit. Does that make sense? Can you see that here? If you're particularly large breasted and this is uncomfortable for you, you're going to do it a bit more like a monkey. Children like this version, and you're literally going to tap on the inside. I was hoping, tilt that bit so you can see that here, okay? You're going to tap that way. I prefer this way, but do what feels most comfortable for you, okay? All of this conflict in my body, I'm acknowledging that I am not taking care of myself. Then you're going to come to the wrist and you're going to use the whole hand across the wrist. I'm not taking care of myself. I'm choosing the wrong things for me. And then you're going to come to the thumb and the fingers. And you see where the nail bed is? You're going to tap at the side, and then you're going to do the same for the fingers, each one in turn, okay? There are meridian end points on the fingers, all bar one, but it's easier to just tap them all than trying to remember which finger doesn't have it, okay? So we're trying to make life easier here. So we're tapping here. There's conflict about my body and my food choices. I feel really annoyed with myself. Please change that if that's not accurate. I feel frustrated with myself. Why can't I make the right choices? And why have I started hating my body again? I'm just giving myself a hard time. Sorry, I should have said come up to the top of the head. Inside eye. I'm giving myself a hard time because I'm not choosing what I know serves me best. Outside eye. I'm giving myself a hard time because I'm choosing foods that I know don't help me feel good. Under the eye, but I wish I didn't give myself a hard time as well. Coming down to under the nose. When I hate myself, I make even worse choices. Coming down to the chin. I can't hate myself into wellness and vitality. Coming down to the clavicle, those points there. I can only love myself into wellness and vitality. Under the arm, maybe I could choose to just give myself a break. The wrong choices are not well thought out. They're reactions coming onto the finger. And I really don't want to continue these choices. So maybe now I could give myself permission to just let go of the conflict. If I let go of the conflict, I might not need to eat the foods. I might choose to love myself a bit more. Come up to the top of the head. This conflict does me no good. Come into the inside eye. So I choose to let the conflict go. Outside eye. I choose to just love and accept myself even with all of this. Under the eye. If I was well and healthy and vital, I wouldn't be making these choices. Under the nose. So I allow myself to relax. And just come down to the chin and just accept it where it is. Down to the clavicle. Fighting myself just makes things worse. Under the arm. Loving myself is easier when I'm not fighting myself. inside wrist. And maybe I could make one better choice today, just one. Maybe I could choose to eat that so-called treat food tomorrow instead of today. Maybe I could just choose to breathe and tap. Maybe I might allow myself to be more resourced so I can step away from the foods and the thoughts. Maybe I just accept it is as it is. I'll soon get fed up of eating this rubbish. Okay, I want you to take a deep breath in. Now, I wasn't able to be terribly specific with you, whereas if you were with one-to-one with me, then we'd be able to do it that way. I've tried to cover a range of things that are coming up at the moment. So while we're gently in this space, I just want you to tap here on that clavicle point again. I say this with the caveat that if you are angry at yourself, what I'd like you to do now is pause the video in just 1 second. I should explain this bit first. So you're going to pause the video, and then, so I'm just going to tilt this down. What I want you to do is where your ribs are, the bottom of your rib cage, I just want you to tap on there. And what I want you to do as you're tapping is express your anger, okay? When we keep the anger in, it will find another way out. And what we often do subconsciously to suppress that anger is eat, okay? So if you're feeling angry about anything, you need to get it out of your body. And you're going to tap on that lower rib point, just kind of in line with your breasts, really, in line with your nipples, so that they're not on the outside, it's not on the inside, it's kind of in the middle. So you're just going to tap there. Now, if that's what you need to do, I want you to pause the video now and go ahead and do that. Then when you've finished and you feel less angry, in fact, you might feel more relaxed, then you come back. So go ahead and do that now. And those who are not needing to tap on the anger, I just want you to tap here. And as you're doing that, I'm going to start to do some clearing statements. But by tapping, you're activating the meridian systems, discharging all of that stuck energy. And that stuck energy will be pulling you into all sorts of patterns. But as you're tapping, the rhythm and the motion of tapping calms the fight, flight, freeze response down. So you'll come out of that phrase and you'll be settling into the healing phase, the rest and digest phase, okay? And by settling into that phase, you allow the body to settle its own responses down, which switches off the automatic responses caused by the subconscious, which is probably what's happening, where the subconscious is saying you're stressed, you're not feeling well, you're miserable, you're sad, you're angry, whatever it might be. Here, this food used to make you feel better. Let's eat that now. So by tapping, we're going to switch that response off and we're going to soothe that system down. Tapping is probably one of the best ways to soothe the nervous system, quieten down the thoughts, and actually start to let go of these behaviours. But one-to-one tapping is the better way to do it. This is a really, hopefully, a helpful interim. So you're going to be tapping here. I'm going to tune into the energies that are here. Okay, so everywhere where there's self-loathing coming up, hating the body, hating the way we look, everything that is for each and every one of us, we now highlight. Angels, can you flood this place with lots of light, please, and love and compassion? And let's just deconstruct that. Deconstruct, dissolve and delete that across all layers of infinity, dimensions, constellations, patterns and ancestral timelines. Okay. And I'm getting the sense of annoyance coming up now. So annoyance with choosing the wrong foods. Knowing what it is that you should eat or want to eat makes you feel better, and yet not doing it. And the annoyance at the self of doing that. So I'm just going to highlight that. And as I'm doing that, I am going to tap on my lower ribs. And I suggest you do the same. So we now highlight that everywhere where we're annoyed with ourselves, so making choices that don't feel right. Make our bodies feel rubbish, make us feel fat or uncomfortable, make us feel ill. Foods that are man-made and basically not grown in a garden, then they're foods that we really shouldn't be participating in more than occasionally, because they don't do us any good. But judging ourselves for doing it will make it worse. So everything that is, everywhere where there's judgment, everywhere where there's annoyance and anger, everywhere where there is a push-pull thing where we want to do it but don't want to do it, so the conflict that comes in, everything that is, please highlight now. And everywhere where we just feel fed up with ourselves and it all feels hopeless. Come up to the clavicle again. Highlight that. Bring it all into being. Everything that underpins it. Everything that holds it stuck in place. Everything that it leads to. Highlight that. Beautiful. And now we're going to deconstruct it, dissolve it, delete it across all layers of infinity, dimensions, constellations, patterns and ancestral timelines. Okay. Take a deep breath in. Release it down. I just want to check what other energies there are. And do a little spray. Yep, we're starting to go further into time than I really would have liked to. Okay, so what I'm sensing here is an angst about it. So what I'm going to ask you to do, if this is still going on for you, is to really tap on that lower rib point and just say, I'm angry about this because ... I'm really annoyed because ... And even if it's nothing to do with the food and it's just anger that's in your body, tap and talk, okay? So I'm just going to ask the angels to show me what that looks like when each and every one of us have done that. Okay, so that feels peaceful now. So what I'm going to ask you to do at this point is to do some choose twos. These are tapping statements that are choose twos, and we're just going to very quickly tap through each of the points, probably with 1 or 2 choose twos. So come up to the top of the head. I choose foods that nourish my body. Come into the inside eye. I gladly choose foods that nourish my body and make me feel well. Outside eye. I choose foods that nourish my body and leave me feeling vital and revitalized. And the eye. I am so pleased to choose foods that feel really good for me. Under the nose. I am thrilled that I'm taking care of myself again. Coming down to the chin. I love to take care of myself with my food choices. I love, coming down to the clavicle, I love to take care of myself with the way I talk to myself. Under the arm, I choose to love myself in all the ways I can. Inside wrist, I choose to praise my body. I choose to give thanks for my body and all its functions. I choose to feel gratitude for all that my body does for me. And I choose what's right for me. I choose empowerment and happiness. I choose me. Right, take a deep breath in. Excuse me, it's very late now. What I want you to do is where you've got your ring finger and little finger, that little dip here on the back of the palm, you're going to place the palm down on your lap or a table, and you're going to tap with the other hand in that dip, okay? And as that's happening, what I'd like you to do is to turn your eyes clockwise or anti-clockwise. We're going to repeat the other way, so whichever way looks well for you. And as you do this, you're just turning your eyes, just say 3 times, then back the other way. Oh, that's harder for me. Turn, there we are, and again, and again. Now you're going to sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to me, happy birthday to me, happy birthday to me, happy birthday to me. Count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And sing happy birthday again. Happy birthday to me, happy birthday to me, happy birthday to me, happy birthday to me. Take a deep breath in. Release it out. Now that 9 gamut, that links 2 sides of the brain and helps what you've done just cross over. You may find you need to repeat this and tweak what I've been saying so that it fits your circumstances better. If you need one-to-one, please just reach out. We can do some really effective work quite quickly that will have long-reaching effects, okay? So don't be struggling with this by yourself. All right, my lovely. That's where we are. I will look at the other aspects that were in the message at a later date, but I wanted to keep this one short. So this is the food-based one and the being unkind to the self one. And I wish you well. Good night.